All right, welcome back to the Run.down over here on the Strickland YouTube channel and the Strickland Podcast Network. It's your boy Samuel here. I got with me Jeff, aka Frank Barrett 119, and Tyrese, aka London's Theory. We are joining you after the Knicks win their first preseason game. Um, Jeff, help me out with the box score real quick. What was the score?
Score
The Knicks
was
won 101-88, but
1-1-88.
like they were up 25 with 3 minutes left, and then the Scrubs like gave up like 10 to 12 points, and they crushed. Yeah, 101-88.
It was a thrashing.
Grimes had 24, 8-2 with 2 steals on 8 of 21 shooting. Deuce had 14-7. Jericho Sims had 16-10. Very dominant effort on the inside by Sims, and then Hunt had 17 points and 7 steals. He was, to make a bad dad joke, he was doing some hunting, like he was. That was bad. I appreciate the pity laughs though.
But yeah, like you guys, like Jeff just said, I mean, pretty dominant effort by this team coming out in their first game. I mean, this is what you kind of expect from a team that's bringing out at least 3 NBA rotation players, to say the least. And rotation players that got a decent amount of burn, I think, throughout at least through the latter part of the regular season. For me, and I think for most of us here, I think like summer league is just like trying to see like what these players worked on and like the processes more than at the actual like scoring outputs or results. I mean, Grimes, for example, I mean, let's just start off with him, who like had the fan base at each other's necks tonight for some reason. But Grimes started off the game pretty slow. He wasn't really shooting the ball particularly well, but he ended up finishing the game with 24 and 8 assists, 2 steals, 8 for 21 from the field, like Jeff said. And I thought he had a pretty good game. So I mean, I was pretty encouraged by what I saw from him. He showed like a lot of that creation that Jeff was highlighting in that thread that he did earlier this offseason. And it's just encouraging to see that he's continuing to make strides and can hopefully be part of our starting lineup heading into the regular season. So Jeff, what did you see from today's game?
Yeah, I mean, Tyrese was saying before we hopped on that stats in summer league don't really matter, and I completely I agree with him up to a certain extent. I think that how you accumulate your stats is way more important than the stats themselves. And we all know the Knox example. Tyrese was saying it before we hopped on, but I think you could make the argument that if you went back and watched those Knox games, he wasn't accumulating his stats in ways that we would define as sustainable for going in the pros. It was clear that he was capitalizing on weak competition. So when you're watching Grimes, what you're looking for is what are things he's doing that are encouraging and are things that you can imagine him doing in his role in the NBA. Because if he was just going out there and he was like overpowering weaker players, or he was like, beating guys off the step that he won't be able to beat in the NBA, that's less encouraging than seeing improvement as a passer, than seeing improved defensive awareness on the other side of the ball, which are two things I thought he showed really, really well tonight, especially on defense. You can just see, I was watching him very closely on that side of the court, and you can just see him like processing the game faster. There's a specific play that I have in mind. I'm going to highlight it tomorrow. This guy isolated on the right side of the court, and Grimes was off the ball on the left side of the court, and he drove right, and right when he spinned back into the middle of the court, Grimes started his burst and basically just met him at the spot and picked the ball off from him. And it's just stuff like that you really see that he's reading the game and feeling it out a lot better. And that kind of thing is just so much more important than did he go 1 for 9 from 3 or 5 for 9 from 3? Because when you look at his form, his shot is, his shot is going to be there long term. So yeah, would you like to see him shoot and get hot? Like, of course you would, but it's not the end of the world if the shots don't fall. The other stuff is way more important. So I just really liked his game all night. And I thought that the stuff that he showed that was good was sustainable long term and really encouraging for Knicks fans.
Tyrese?
Yeah, I mean, the process is what you think about in the summer league, and I just felt like with Grimes especially, the process felt very even. It felt like he knew what he was doing. It felt like he was in control. He looked seasoned out there. Like he didn't deer in the headlights. I think last year you saw like him look kind of lost as well in summer league, but like this year he definitely looks polished. He looks like, I've been on the court before. I know what to do here, and he just he just knows what he's doing on the court, and he knows that he's like you could just tell that like the guy's process is there, and that's what you want to see mostly.
Yeah, he looked pretty solid, especially the end of the night. I mean, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. To be cliche there. Another guy that stood out from last year's end of year rotation was Jericho Sims. I thought he looked really dominant down low. This comes after the day where Knicks fans were crying and complaining about Jalen Duren, who scored 9 and 1 in 12 minutes for the Detroit Pistons summer league team last night. Knicks fans decided to shed some tears as we didn't retain him, forgetting that we have someone like a Jericho Sims, who we got with the 58th pick in the draft last year, who we just extended, by the way. Shout out to him getting his money, and staying with the team, getting that standard contract. But yeah, I mean, he looked dominant. 16 points, 10 rebounds. What was it? Two blocks.
Yeah,
2 blocks. So I mean, just gave you everything. And I mean, he was like literally like jumping out of the gym for some of these lobs. I mean, it looked like he was just like bouncing off a trampoline. And I mean, he just is gonna give you that solid rim running, that solid rim protection, and he even showcased a little bit of like, being able to do a little bit extra with the ball. Like he showcased that little dribble move in the beginning earlier, as well as he showed like a little turnaround after he got a rebound. So he's showing things, and this is all you want to see from your
he
young
tried.
guys.
He
He
tried.
tried.
He tried.
He tried. For
It
me,
was
for me, it's the effort that's there, that even attempting that, because last year he throws that out for another pass.
Yeah,
So
you love to see that, because I would say that aside from rookie stuff, the biggest criticism that you can give to Jericho Sims as a rookie, um, is how passive he was when it wasn't a pure dunk. Like he would get a lob, be 2 feet from the basket, and he wouldn't even look at the basket. He would just, who can I kick it out to? And I think it was just so much of, I don't want to make a mistake. Part of it's playing for Tibbs, which is understandable.
mhm.
And there were two things that really stood out to me. One was a few times he got a rebound and looked to push it himself, like to dribble it up the court. You're obviously not going to like want to see that in the NBA, but just the fact that he's like trying to broaden his horizons. There was a few offensive rebounds where he just immediately looked at the basket, which is probably his most important development. But he's always going to be like a kind of limited player, but that's okay. He is who he is, and and there was the when he met Kuminga at the top, that was sick.
Oof, wow.
Kuminga was trying to put him on a poster.
That was a beautiful block.
Yeah.
Tyrese,
Oh,
how'd you feel
my
about
bad.
Sims?
My bad. I'm also like sick as fuck right now. I was like taking some vitamin C. I mean, Sims is good. Like Sims, Sims is fucking fantastic, man. Like the athleticism just really pops every time you watch him on the screen, and like his defense on switches is like so fucking good. Like I love watching his footwork when he switches. Like the dude just plays smaller than he is, but he also plays bigger than he is. If that makes any sense. Like his footwork is incredible, but he could also like size people up in the rim. He's not gonna be like block a lot of shots, but like his body and just going up vertical is going to deter so many shots at the rim. Like it's almost
that's
Taj
why he's such a
esque.
good screener too.
Like he's almost Taj esque. So
He also kind of reminds me of Kevon Looney a little bit, when Kevon Looney switches onto guards, like how he's able
yeah,
to.
a little bit.
Yeah, that was a really good point, Tyrese. He had a few switches onto guards where he just like engulfed them. Yeah, that I agree entirely. It's really impressive to see him take on guards. Can I just say, I just want to say one more thing about Grimes before we move forward past him.
Mhm.
Does anybody think, I said this to Sam before Tyrese jumped on, does anybody think that Evan Fournier is more likely to impact a basketball game when he's 1 for 9 than Grimes is? Like, I don't get how you can watch Grimes go 1 for 9 and then watch him do all these other things and be like, oh God, the shot's not falling. That must mean he's not very good. When we saw Evan Fournier, who again, I said to Sam, I like him. I don't hate the contract as much as other people do. I think he's a fine player. But we saw Evan Fournier all season. His input is totally dictated by whether his shot is falling or not. You need more at the guard position. You need a guy, especially someone who's going to shoot a lot of threes. 3-pointers are super volatile. They're not always going to fall. You need someone who can impact the game positively when those shots aren't falling. And to me, Grimes proved that. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand how you can watch this and be like down on Grimes or think, I don't know. That just really bothered me.
I don't know how you're down on Grimes, man. Like, you know he can shoot well.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
the one thing about Grimes is that you know that he can shoot well, and ultimately, like, there's no point in even discussing that in summer league.
Yeah. But I feel like we know he can defend well too. That's like, I think that's like almost a more important point.
Logic goes out the door for a lot of Knicks fans once it's their first time watching the team in a long time. I think a lot of fans, this was their first time watching the Knicks in a long time, and they just had to get some irrational takes off their chests. And it's just like,
You mean Miles McBride is not a bust because he went 3 for 10? You
see, like with someone like Deuce McBride, I don't even care about his shooting percentages. I'm just like, I want to see aggression. I want to see that playmaking. I just want to see like
I want to see paint touches.
defense.
All I want to
Yeah.
see Grimes do is get paint touches. I don't care about anything else.
So I mean, yeah.
He had a sweet move like a between the legs dribble that created a 15-footer for him, and then he airballed the 15-footer. I was so bummed. I was like, man, that was such a nice move, and then weep womp.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on to McBride. 14 points, 7 assists. Like Tyrese said, 3 for 10 shooting, only hit his 3 threes, hit 5 free throws. But I mean, everything else was there: the playmaking, the defense, the process of how he was like trying to get his buckets. I thought was pretty encouraging. So, I mean,
The one thing I would say about Deuce, and this is a credit to what the Warriors did tonight, because they did it more to Grimes in the first half. I thought Grimes was able to get into the paint more in the second half, but especially in the first half on Grimes and the whole game on Deuce, they really did not get their feet in the paint much, as Tyrese was just talking about. They were not able to penetrate this defense. And if you can't penetrate summer league defenses, I'm sorry, like you just even off the bench, you can't be like a primary initiator, which is fine. You just have to be good at other things. We know Grimes can move off the ball and shoot off the ball. We know Grimes is a great defender. We know what we're getting from Deuce on defense. We saw it in the NBA. Like, he played limited minutes, but every time he stepped on the floor, he's a reliable defender. Can he be a reliable spot-up shooter if he's not going to be a primary initiator? I personally still think he's more comfortable shooting off the bounce than off the catch. I trust Tyrese more with this. I know he's like scouted him more than I have, and he does the draft stuff.
You're
So
right.
I'd be curious to hear what Tyrese thinks, but that's my feel from watching him in limited minutes.
You're right. Like, he definitely likes the ball in his hands. He did it a ton at West Virginia. It was basically like he didn't take a lot of spot up jumpers at West Virginia. And remember, he was doing that for like 2 years. So like, dude was used to like dribble bag work and then like shooting off the bounce. That's why his like percentages were like so low in West VU. Like, I mean, he shot well from three, but like his 2 percentages were low. Like, the dude loves shooting off the bounce. He's kind of like wired and quickly to that regard. Like, him and quickly kind of similar with like the way they just love shooting off the bounce, but like shooting off a standstill is like so weird and foreign to them. Yeah, like you also know like that's how the front office drafts. But yeah, like I think that just takes some time for him. I would love to see him get work in the G League, especially because Montero's there. So like, you can definitely put Montero more on ball until dude's like, hey, play off Montero's like gravity and get ready to like shoot open jumpers because he's going to be doing that a lot more if he plays with the big club in his limited minutes, but like he'll play. So yeah, like, he really needs to get more comfortable doing that rather than trying to do stuff with like the shooting off the bounce. I know he can shoot on the bounce.
That was a really cool thing tonight that I really liked. I don't want to butcher it. I forget the coaches who coached for the Knicks tonight's name.
Dice.
Yeah. So we had a 3-guard rotation, Montero, Grimes, and Deuce. And he did a reverse Tibbs thing and didn't have Montero as purely Deuce's backup. He played Montero with both. And since Montero isn't really a great shooter, he kind of commanded the ball when he was in. And so obviously that's fine with Grimes. Grimes is more, natural off the ball anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But when he played with Deuce, it forced Deuce in an off-ball role. And to what Tyrese was just saying, it was nice to see Deuce work off the ball and get him some, catch and shoot. He made a catch and shoot 3 tonight. He had to do some moving off the ball. There's no doubt the defense is going to be there with Deuce, but to me, his NBA trajectory falls in what kind of role can he eke out for himself if he's not a primary initiator? Because I don't really see a world where Deuce becomes good enough to be, someone you want to be a primary initiator on a good team. To me, he's going to be like a Patrick Beverly offensive role, like playing a lot off the ball and shooting a lot off the ball or attacking closeouts, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree. Like you can see him. He's never gonna get like the freedom he got at West VU,
Right.
or even in the G League, where he could just basically shoot as much as he wants to, take like 18-footers. Like he's never gonna get that role in the NBA. So like he needs to be able to just attack closeouts, shoot off like catches, and then like occasionally he'll get some back working, but like not nearly to the diet that he got it in college.
Yeah. Let's get to probably one of the more exciting players of tonight, Farron Hunt. I mean, we kind of picked him up late in the season last year from the Mavericks G League team, and he had a very exciting game today. 17 points, 7 steals, and I mean, just like coming in with the high flying dunks. I mean, he just brought the energy and the excitement tonight, and I feel like he's probably gonna be one of my favorite players to watch in summer league and probably preseason, assuming that he sticks on with us, which I think it has a good chance of playing out. But I mean, yeah, I mean, do we think that, as Jordan Bubb is saying, Farron is going hard for that roster spot? Do we think he has a chance, or do we think that he's going to be sticking more time with the G League as he did last year?
Well, I mean, I think even if he gets the roster spot, he'd be in the G League.
Okay.
No, I think we have 2 roster spots open now.
Yeah, because we just waived Taj and Archidiakono.
Damn. Bring back Archie. Archie will be back, please.
Damn.
Brunson,
I really like that Jeffries guy.
Brunson
Jeffries?
Yeah, I thought he played a solid game.
DJ Jeffries?
Did y'all find it strange that Hunt and Jeffries were the primaries on Moody and not like? Why do you think they didn't have Grimes take on that matchup at all? I feel like whatever, Moody cooked and he was making a lot of tough shots. So I'm not saying they did an awful job, but it would have been interesting. It would have been nice to see Grimes. Maybe they wanted Grimes to, sort of do his damage off the ball. I don't know.
I think they probably wanted to see like Grimes focus more on his offensive game, probably because they know what he can do on defense. So they didn't want to wear him out on that end. So that's the only explanation I could think of.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, but like when you have Deuce, Montero defended really well, Keels, like Deuce, Grimes, Montero, Keels, all at the point of attack. Like sometimes you have 2 or 3 on the court together. Man, the Knicks are going to be tough. This summer league team is going to be tough to like play against.
And I mean, you saw it from opening tip.
Yeah,
how aggressive defensively they were.
Commented on it. She said like this is as high quality a summer league game you're going to see. And you could see it, like you saw it in the rotations. There were multiple Warriors possessions where they were making all these excellent extra passes, and the Knicks were just there with every single rotation. And it was just really good on both sides. I mean, the Warriors kind of stalled to the finish, but it was just a really high quality game. And I agree with you. I think I think he'll get a roster spot, and I agree with Sam that he was just super exciting. It was just super fun to watch him play. Like he was working his ass off. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but who cares?
Facts.
I don't know what kind of shooter he can be. I think that will definitely
Yes, because
yeah.
I noticed that he had a lot of open opportunities, but he would like pump fake as the
Mhm.
defense was closing out to him, and then like drive into the lane to try to get like free throws, which is good in for the most part. But you also want to see what he can do as a shooter. I don't know how much information there is on him as a shooter. I don't know where he went to college and like how he did over there.
He went for the college with the Mustangs, so SMU.
Farron Hunt. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
look that up really quickly.
Moody shot
The
17 free throws. That's crazy.
Yeah, Moody was on another level. The shooting for Hunt, it's okay. Like if I were to give him an NBA comp, I would say like Larry Nance Jr.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
something. It's like something you're like looking towards.
So you
Or
think
like
you think he would play power forward if he was like playing in the NBA?
absolutely, he'd be a four. He would be a
Cool.
four. Like more of a 3-4 than a 4-5, but like he'd probably be closer to the four.
Yeah.
With him, it just feels like he could pass. Like I would say that's the one thing. Like he could definitely pass a little bit. Um, he could pass.
His athleticism is
He's athletic as
insane.
hell.
I mean, that shift in the air when McClung was coming at him for that block, and he just like went up and under in midair
yeah,
to
like
dunk it.
dude is an athlete. Like I will tell you that much. Dude is an athlete. But like, yeah, Larry Nance Jr. Something where like he won't take a lot of threes, but he might hit them at like maybe let's say a 34%,
4%. Oh wow,
35% clip.
30%.
I mean, he hit them 36% in the G League.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm thinking like if he could hit them at like 34, 35% of like decent volume and like still be a hyper finisher at the rim, because that's like where he does his damage while maintaining his athleticism, like he might play in a rotation, maybe, but like yeah, like I would say like a Larry Nance Jr. kind of player is what he is.
Okay. Make sure you guys leave some questions in the comments. We're gonna get to them as we, get to some other stuff. Let's get to some Knicks news, I guess. Hasn't been that much as of late because shout out to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving ruining the trade market and like all of NBA free agency, basically.
Even though we already know what the fuck's gonna happen, it's just like stalling it out for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's like so unnecessary. Thanks a lot, Kevin Durant. Thanks a lot, Kyrie Irving. But today the Knicks waived what was it, Archidiakono, and they waived Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson will now sign with the Washington Wizards, so that is the end of his tenure here.
Bomba clot.
Shout out Taj Gibson. Your number 67 will be retired one day, hopefully.
It'll be hanging in the bodegas in every. That's a bodega classic right there. Someone put with the Taj Gibson, you getting them a free 40.
Yep. So I mean, shout out Taj. My favorite play of Taj's had to be, and I shared it today. It had to be that and one he got in game 1 of the playoffs against the Hawks, and he started amping up the crowd. I just love that. I love that play.
My favorite play was like he hit the fuck out of Chris Paul, like in Phoenix in the bubble, not in the fucking bubble season, and he went up behind Chris Paul and went whop, and that shit. I was amped. We were getting blown out. I don't give a fuck. That was a great moment. That's my bet right there, man. Like, so when Todd comes back to the Garden, if you think we getting a little golf clap, we getting a good.
He's getting a standing O. He's getting a standing O.
Yeah, he probably might get a standing O.
He's getting a standing O.
It's gonna be a special moment in the Garden. Now, who gets cheered louder, him or Burks?
Oh man,
no, Taj will.
Taj.
Yeah,
but Burks will get a fair clap. He'll get a fair clap.
I think Burks might get that, bro.
Wow. All right.
Man,
I mean,
Burks,
I think Taj has the heart of New York City because he grew up.
Problem is, Burks is certified everywhere. Like Burks is like a favorite hooper kind of certified,
Yeah.
So like, I mean, either way, like Noel getting booed though. Noel getting. We gotta worry about that. Noel getting booed. But yeah, Burks and Taj will get a nice little sign when they come back to the Garden. So I'm looking forward to that.
But I think this is very interesting also because it's like this kind of shows like the direction that the front office is like really going full steam ahead with the youth movement, or at least getting close to a youth movement in some degree. I mean, most of the team is like under 25 with like with the exception of Julius Randle.
It's Brunson, Fournier, Rose, and Randle.
Yeah. So I mean, the team is looking like. Go ahead, Jeff.
I just want to push back a little bit. I saw a bunch of people tweeting that today. I think Taj. I just don't think Taj is like. I think he's
Anti-youth
leaving.
movement.
Yeah, I just think he's leaving because
He's getting a better opportunity.
he was actually a good player, and he's going to play for the
Mhm.
Wizards.
Yeah.
Like I guess I just don't see how. Oh, great! All of a sudden, like there's all these minutes. Like we still have a lot of things we have to do if we're actually going to have a youth movement season.
Mhm.
If Fournier and Randall are on, and Rose, if Rose, Fournier, and Randall are on the roster at the start of the season, I don't care how many of our guys are under 25. Like Tibbs is Tibbs. So what is our rotation going to be if those three are all on the roster going to be? Even if Grimes starts, Fournier won't get treated like a young bench guy last year. He'll get 20 to 30 minutes a game. You know, Brunson's seeing 35. Rose, even in limited minutes, will see. So what? IQ is going to be playing 15 minutes a game. Obi will be playing like 15 minutes a game. And there are two most important young guys. Like, what are Cam and Grimes and I don't know.
I mean, I think Grimes probably starts, but Cam ain't seeing no time.
I know, but this is my point. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I saw so many people who were like, and I'm sorry, Sam, I don't mean to I'm not trying to lump you in with them or like.
Oh, no, that's all good.
Crap on the point you were making, but
no, that's all good.
Just so many people who were like, "Oh, Taj is gone, so we're going young," and I just don't agree. I don't
think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
because it's like we know they still have to move Randall. We know they still have to move Fournier, or at least mitigate his role somehow.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway,
what?
Yo,
nah, we're moving these guys, whether you like it or not, Tyrese. These guys are moving, okay?
Wait, Tyrese, you like Randall though, right? Like you'd be fine if they moved Fournier, right?
I mean, they're not gonna move Fournier this year because money cap purposes, but if they did, I'd be surprised. And they're not moving him this year. Like I see him coming off the bench, but yeah.
Anyways, as I was saying before Tyrese rudely coughed and interrupted me.
Fucking we're not doing this.
Yes, we are. Yo, number 30 has to go. I don't care. I will.
He was right there. He was there with the contingent. He ain't going nowhere, and you know it.
Yeah, he's getting ready to be in those trade discussions. He's gonna pick where he's gonna go.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think there's still like Jeff said, there is still some stuff that we do have to figure out. But I do like the step in the right direction of like the team looking younger. I mean, they got rid of Kemba, they got rid of Burks, they got rid of Noel. Albeit it was probably more to get off cap space more than it was to move in the youth direction. But I mean, when we see Brunson, we see Hartenstein, those guys are also very young and match the timelines of our guys. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's a step in the right direction. We'll see what happens with number 30, number 13, and number 4.
Sam, do you think that if we kept Taj, let's say Mitch got hurt, so Hartenstein starting, do you think there would be worry that Taj would move into the backup role over Sims, or do you think Sims would roughly be the third starter?
I think definitely it would be Taj getting those minutes.
No, okay. It wouldn't.
We
just saw Taj barely play, and Sims started after All-Star break. Like there was no concern there.
And I mean, Taj still played a pretty decent amount after All-Star break. It was
Noel and Mitch were hurt.
Exactly.
So like,
if Mitch gets hurt, so in Jeff's example, Mitch gets hurt, Hartenstein takes up the starter, and then it's between Sims and Taj for backup.
Yeah, and Sims would play. What are we doing here, man? Like Jericho Sims was the backup center after All-Star break.
I know, but that was just because like the team.
And then they extended him.
You're right, they did extend him,
and
which is why they got rid of Taj.
And even Taj.
But if they didn't extend him and they kept him on the 2-way again,
okay, if
Taj is back.
If they kept him on the 2-way, then I would understand. But like they extended him. If Taj was here, even Taj probably would be like, "Yo, bro, my knee's old. Like, play Sims." Like the idea, the fact that they extended him basically was like, "Okay, hey Sims, slot Sims to the third role." So like that's why Taj left. If Taj thought he was getting starting time, Taj would be on the team right now.
True.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like there was no concern there of like somehow Taj Gibson is going to like wheel his way into the court when Jericho Sims is like.
I mean, you never know with Tom Thibodeau though. So like,
I I also think you're selling him short, Tyrese. Like Taj was good the last.
I know Taj was good. Trust me, I'm Team Taj all the way. Like I'm gonna miss him. Like number corner threes was wet. We gonna miss those. But like, yeah, like literally, there was no like worry for Taj somehow playing next year if he was gonna come back, and that's why he left because he was like, I'm not playing next year, and I'm not trying to retire yet. So.
All right,
I guess that's kind of a chicken egg question then, though, because you're saying Taj only left because he knew he wasn't going to play, but in my hypothetical, it would be one where Taj came back. So if Taj had
fair,
yeah, I don't know.
fair, but yeah, like if Taj, yeah, you're right. It's a chicken and an egg. It is chicken and an egg. So.
Let's get to some of these comments. So we have Hawkeye 420 who says, "I think this unit is close enough now, minus 30, to where they don't need vets." I mean, yeah, I mean, we saw last year. I mean, last year they did have vets, but like we saw how
vets.
What happened.
Worth to Charlotte, you always need vets.
That is a very unique situation over there in Charlotte.
Listen, you can't tell me Charlotte.
That is the new Jailblazers. Those are the new Jailblazers, but but yeah, that is a very unique situation over there in Charlotte. I just thought that coach just didn't have that locker room under control. So of course, if that coach is not gonna have
Steve Clifford go get
then...
them boys right. I still can't believe they went back to Steve Clifford, bro.
That is hilarious that they went back to the coach that. I mean, sometimes you just got to go back to what worked best for you, even if it was mid.
He went home. They went home. They was like, we sorry. That's like a divorce, but they end up back together. Like, y'all was dating a little bit, and they work out. Nobody happy, and you just like, you know what? I need to come back home. I can't be a Tulum no more.
To Hawkeye's point, I mean, I'll take it a step further. I think a rotation of Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Obi, Mitch, Rose, IQ, Cam, Hartenstein. So a 9-man rotation with those 9, with RJ and Cam sort of taking on that backup 4 role. I think that's easily fighting for the play-in if you get positive health luck. Like I just think our young guys are just super underrated and like just need to play more. Now, obviously, that example is just like, oh, we're getting rid of Fournier and Randall and getting back nothing, which I don't really see happening. But I just think those guys are really good.
In a perfect world, that happens, but
right. So I agree with Hawkeye. I think this team is really close. Now, can Randall be a part of that? Can we go with a 10-man rotation where Obi comes off the bench? I mean, I don't know, but
you know damn well he can't. You will stop this bullshit.
Yo, we just saw what happened last year when they tried to reduce his role in the court sometimes. Through a hissy fit. I don't want to see it again.
We'll be back.
Jordan Bub, do you think Mavs and Knicks are trying to do a sign and trade? Who will it be to send? I think you're trying to say like the Mavs will probably take back. Do you think the Mavs and the Knicks are like trying to do a sign and trade where we send back either Evan or Rose? I mean, the deal hasn't been made official yet, so
we're not sending back anybody.
So, I mean,
we getting back a couple seconds and maybe the protection of the 23 pick.
Anything is in the realm of possibility these days in the NBA, especially since the deal isn't official.
They are not sending back. I'll guarantee that shit right now. They're not sending anybody back. No fucking way they're going to help the Mavs when they have their pick.
I mean, would it be helping them if we send them Fournier? He's a very defensive liability.
All right, man.
All right. Putting him out there on the court with Christian Wood and JaVale McGee and Spencer Dinwiddie. Woo.
Yeah, but that offense gonna be must see. Shit, I'm gonna watch that. That's bro. They giving Maxi Kleber and Davis Bertans minutes. All right, Evan Fournier would be like fucking water to Nirvana. Like,
and apparently Bullock's going to Philly, so
that's actually a pretty good fit. Philly, low key, Daryl Morgan. He got the Rockets coming back from the dead, like fucking reanimation juice too. But he been cooking. A little bit. I like the Melton trade. That was a good Melton trade.
Oh yeah, that was the Melton trade.
That was a really good fucking trade. I don't know how the fuck they pulled that off, bro. Memphis needs help.
Memphis is gonna be running out of a lineup filled with like their draft picks this year? Because like they drafted like 5 guys. and
Well, Tyus Jones isn't a draft pick, but like Tyus Jones. Oh, also Tyus Jones market got so
because
fucked.
they lost Kyle Anderson, they lost Melton,
But like they
Jaron
have Williams.
Jackson's gonna be out for like the first couple months of the
Wait,
season.
is Tyus Jones not on the team either?
He's
He is.
back.
He is.
Okay.
He's back. So it's just like, but like, I feel like next year the rotation is gonna be very interesting.
Their
'Cause
rotation.
they drafted a lot of guys this year.
Yeah, they drafted like Jake LaRavia and all that shit. Like
Kenny
I don't know.
Lofton, Kennedy Chandler, like
Yeah, if Kenny
Oh.
Lofton plays a minute in the NBA, I'd be shocked for Memphis at least.
Memphis is the type of team to do that though. They're not
they
us.
they got Killian Tilly out here collecting dust, man. I'm sad. I'm so sad.
Well, that guy isn't he like made of glass?
Yeah, but he could hoop.
This has been a really good
Um,
offseason for your agenda, Sam, because now there's rejuvenation for Harden. Everyone's getting their hopes up. So now when he fails again next year,
Oh
you get
yeah, hell yeah,
to,
hell yeah,
you get to
hell
hop
yeah,
on, you
hell
trade
yeah. I'm watching that closely, man. I'm watching that situation closely. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's buying in. He's being serious. He took the pay cut." I'm like, "Yeah, right."
I just
We'll
saw
see.
him in the studio with Lil Baby. Like, what are we
And
doing
Travis
here?
Scott, yeah, he was just with them. So we'll see
He
how
still got a
serious he
crib in
really is.
Houston. That's when you know he not serious.
Let's get back to some of these comments. Let's see. Okay, for 20, they've drafted kids with great work ethic. I don't really worry about that. I think he's referencing a comment
Yeah.
previously about like vets. Yeah, I mean the kids, they've shown that they've like been pretty they've shown that they've been pretty accountable for themselves. So like we said before, I don't really worry about having veterans on this team.
Cam Reddish is
And
still
like
a question
if
mark.
there was a situation that was gonna be tough to buy into, like there has to be someone in like Quickly and Obi's ear that's like, you should be playing more. But like they've been humble, stayed hardworking, and then yeah, like Grimes and Deuce and even Sims have taken that ball and kept it going. You know, like they seem to work really hard and don't have egos. So I mean, say what you want about Tibbs, but for whatever reason, I mean, he deserves a lot of respect because he's had success in the league. He's gotten these young guys to buy in and to, you know, embrace like just working hard and getting better. And then what does he always say? Like, next man up, when your number's called, be ready. And these guys have all stayed ready and been ready. So props to Tibbs and props to the Knicks organization for drafting high character guys.
I'm not praising a white man for keeping a black man in line.
Hawkeye for
he'll
20.
see-
What if they loosen the restrictions on the 2020 first round pick? I mean, that's what
I would assume that happens. Like, because the Mavericks probably want it just as much as the Knicks do, and the Mavericks know they're making the playoffs this year. So, like, let us trade picks. Could we want like Sexton or something? You know. So I can see that happening.
I would hope so. I mean, because that allows them to do negotiations, but that also allows us, like, if they somehow like Luka somehow has a freak accident and then Christian Wood becomes option number one, then
Someone
God
got to
bless.
slip. Someone got to put some water on the court for the agenda. Real quick.
Oh my gosh. Jordan Bub, how many teams do you think are better than the Knicks this year?
0. We win in the chip.
I wish. I think that's a good question. I think it depends on like what they do with the rest of the roster going into the season. I mean, I don't think this roster is complete yet, and like we said earlier, like a lot of the trades and like free agency is on hold because of this Kevin Durant trade situation. So we won't really know what the final Knicks roster is going to be, and we don't know what the final roster is going to be for a lot of other teams in the East. Because what if Kevin Durant moves to another team out east? That kind of shifts the balance of power in teams.
I know. We're one team he ain't moving to. Fucking Washington. So
of course not.
Let me. I can give my opinion to this. I think we're better than OKC, Houston, Sacramento, Orlando, Indiana, San Antonio, Detroit, Washington, Brooklyn. If they trade Kevin Durant, Utah, Charlotte. I'd probably throw. You probably throw maybe.
You're super confident we're better than Utah, huh? Even with Mitchell,
bro. What the fuck is Utah have? Walker Kessler moving you? Really? Like they had to make
that
another trade.
I just think they're one of those teams that like just overachieves. I don't know. I mean,
The problem is they overachieve because Gobert is literally a top 10 defense walking.
Yeah, that's a good
and now
point.
they don't have the Gobert, and they have no wings still.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's gonna be their center? Oh my gosh, is it gonna be
Walker
Walker Kessler from day one?
Udoka Azubuike.
Oh,
Literally,
Man,
their
I
centers
kind of
are
like Walker Kessler. I don't know.
Walker.
I just don't know if
fine,
he's
but-
gonna like move the needle day one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that
What about
roster,
Hassan Whiteside?
He's a free agent.
he's a free
God
agent.
damn.
Still. But yeah, like literally, like they have no wings and no center, so that team is dead in the water. And I swear, after the All-Star game, probably Mitchell gets moved. That wouldn't surprise me if they're just like, "Hey, we want the All-Star game. Mitchell's our attraction. He'll make the team." And then afterwards, like, we'll trade him, like the fucking Vucevic shit. But he got traded after All-Star break. Sell a couple jerseys and then we give out the thank you post. Any chance Tyrese wants a webcam at some point? Yes.
I sent you a link too, man. Like, what happened? Did Amazon not ship it?
No, what happened was so like, A, I've been working my ass off, and B, like I'm trying to get some other stuff done before I like buy webcam. I was like low on the priorities right now, so like I was gonna have what I said I would have one before the start of the actual regular season. I didn't realize we was doing summer league shit.
Of course, man.
I didn't realize we was gonna be that tapped in this all season, bro. I thought,
yeah.
I was in like
I'm keep the content machine pumping, man.
I'm mentally in Cancun right now, bro. I'm on my vacation, bro. This is the off season, but yeah, I'll try to get one like in a few weeks. You will see my face by October, I promise. Also, I'm kind of chopped right now. You don't want to see
that. Wait. Oh, wrong comment. Jordan Bub with another good question. How many teams will be in on Julius Randle when KD and Kyrie are gone from the Nets?
That's pretty good. He's not getting moved.
That's a pretty interesting question because I've seen like Phoenix Suns fans. They've been kind of like some of them have been talking themselves into acquiring Julius Randle.
Because they're smart and they understand that he'd fucking help them a ton. I'm not even talking like in terms of like Julius Randle stat. I'm talking in terms of like they literally cannot generate room pressure, and like Julius Randle would help so much in that regard.
I'm very much on board with the idea that Randle can be good for another team. I just don't believe that he's willing to take on a lesser role after his 2020-2021 season. And the Knicks need him to do that. So like I feel like the player and team are at an impasse.
And I think Jeff, to your point, on a team like Phoenix, he'll recognize that like there are actual better players. I don't think he could look at the Knicks roster and be like, "Oh, I'm taking a backseat to who now?" and be okay with it. Because we've seen throughout this past season when other guys got it rolling, he does not really look the most engaged in most of those games. So like that is the reason why a lot of us want him out of New York. It's not, it's like he didn't replicate 2020-21 again. It's like, no, he just doesn't look like he can take a back seat to when other guys are thriving. And if you can't do that here, then we'll send you to somewhere else where you have no choice to, because that's the pecking order.
Man, why the fuck would you give me this season, Julius? Look how they're talking about you, bro. Come on.
Bro, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. 2021 was not who he was, man.
I'm not gonna say it. We're live. I'm not gonna say that. We're live. I don't need to be accurate.
Revive that Elf Julius connection. Yep, in Phoenix, if they even still have him.
No, he's a free agent. I think
he's a free agent.
Yeah.
God bless the team that wastes their last roster spot on signing.
It's time for Israel.
Yeah, I think it's over for him, man.
Like, there's no way. Like, okay, like New York had him as a starter, and then Phoenix signed him as like their third or fourth string guard. There's no way a team can sign him.
I need him out of the league so I can just get one last.
They traded for
Aaron
Holiday.
Started him for 2 years in a row. That's so fucking insane. Oh my god.
The Knicks kind of like helped his career stay alive.
The funniest thing is they signed him to a 1+1, which is non-guaranteed, and then they waived him and they brought him back.
That's the thing that pissed, I think, everyone off. It's like we waived him, and then there was like
it was
like a 3-hour period, and then they were like, "We're bringing him back," and it was like,
I was like, "No fucking way they brought him back, bro!" I was so heated. They saw him drop that triple double against fucking Cleveland, I think. It was like Cleveland or was it Atlanta? One of those teams, whatever. Like he dropped that triple double, and they were like, "Oh, we need that." And Tips was like, "I need it." I need it. I made fucking DJ Augustin work. I could do it. Like,
I can't even.
I still cannot believe that should happen, bro. Like, it flabbergasted me.
That was just the weirdest season. Just the fact that, like, literally a third of the way into the season, everybody was ready to be done with him. Every Knicks fan was like, could see it. And every single night, that poor intern would post the starting five from the Knicks account. And everyone was waiting for Elf to not be in it. And
the ratio was nasty. I know he hated posting that because he would literally be like 240 quote tweets to like 100 likes, and it would be all the quote tweets like, "Why the fuck is he playing?"
God,
And then when that game 3 lineup dropped and it like Elf was benched, oh my god, it felt like I was born again. That was the greatest day in Knicks history because people were just like, "That we didn't care if we would have lost." Like we were just happy that Elf wasn't playing.
the crazy thing is, Elf started game 1 of the playoffs. He shot like 5 times in the first 6 minutes and missed every shot. He was like 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 or something ridiculous. Came out, Rose finished the first half, and then Rose played the whole second half. Like, he didn't even start Elf the second half. And it's just like, that was Tibbs' answer. Like, Tibbs literally didn't think it was possible for anyone but Derrick Rose or Elfrid Payton to play point guard. That was how he viewed that team.
And the funny thing, like, we were doing that literally like the second half of the season after Rose came back from like I think the ankle tweak. So like literally it would be like Elfrid starts the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game, and then Rose would play the rest of the first quarter and then the entire second half.
Yeah,
it was lunacy, and he was like 34. He was like 32 at the time.
Yep.
And he was what? Like, I still cannot believe that was a thing because there's no fucking way that Tom Thibodeau was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play this dude 18 straight minutes."
And
he did.
He did it every night. That was how. It's insane because he doesn't. I can't believe we're turning this into a fucking Tibbs substitution pattern conversation. How has he done this? He doesn't know how to substitute and to like mix and match. The only way for a bench guy to play a lot of minutes, because Tibbs doesn't know how to substitute, is to play well enough that Tibbs says, "Okay, you're playing the whole half." Like, that's IQ did it a few times. The few times IQ played 25 plus minutes off the bench, he came in at his usual time with 4 minutes left in the first, and Tibbs was like, "All right, well, you're playing well. You're just going to play the whole rest of the half," and you just play 18 straight minutes. And then we play these other teams who are like, guys will sub in and out 3 times in a half. And it's just, how does he not see this and be like, maybe I should do that? No.
Senile old man.
Also, like, yeah, Nemo's right. I would literally say just start AB at point guard during the playoffs because like that was easily the best option. You keep Rose on the bench. You don't play Elfrid.
That's the time you should have started AB, not a whole regular season.
Exactly, because you could have just because like, if he was smart, he would have just rotated the wing rotation between those 3. But like Tom Thibodeau,
AB having Trae Young have to guard AB would have been. We saw the few times that it did happen. It led to easy buckets for us.
Yeah,
he
because
took advantage of the
literally
mismatch, and
because he
could able to
he
either
could be
score over
stationary.
Trae Young, or he would he would they would double him because Trae Young can't guard anybody, and he would find the open man.
I'm still pissed about that series, bro. That fucking
I don't want to talk about it anymore, man.
That blue ass bounce from Bogdan, bro.
And then Julius turning into a literal pumpkin.
Bro,
Clint Capella dominating Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson.
It should have been up 2-0 with that series, bro. That series still pisses me off.
I am being notified that my tweet about Julia Fox and Julius Randle is like almost at 30K likes.
I really hope you go to hell.
and like it's like all over different social medias now. It's on TikTok, it's on Instagram. It's like, yeah.
That's impressive. That's kind of like a niche reference. Like, I'm surprised it got that much traction. Good work.
Everyone knows that the Julius Randle 2021 season was fake. So
I guess
please come back and
when you bring that up in reference to someone's peak, it's like, you know, that was like a fake time for that person.
It's getting rough out here for us, bro. It's getting scary out here, cuzzy. Please don't do this shit to me,
man.
It might be over. It might be over.
You see what you did? You drank too much of the Kool-Aid and you didn't even know what flavor it was, man. You drank too much of it. You drank too much of it. Now you got a stomach ache and you don't know how to deal with it. You got a stomach ache, you don't know how to deal with it, Tyrese. Jordan Bub, do you think Knicks will bring Thibs some vets to ease his ego? I think with 2 roster spots, I don't think there is a way to like.
It's no
I'd
more
hope
than
not.
I just like that
Like,
he says
Okay,
like
okay.
Wayne Selden.
that. Like I could see the roster spots being available for like trades,
Yeah.
maybe, but like I can't see like no vet bets coming through unless you want Eric Bledsoe to get a minimum.
oh
Like
hell no. Oh hell
yeah,
no. Oh hell no. You give Thibs a rim pressure guard, even if it's a fake one like Eric Bledsoe. That's like Alfred Payton 2.0.
IQ won't play. He won't
Yeah.
play.
I know. Like literally, those guys, those roster spots need to go to dudes. Like they're either for trade or they're just like carrying them into the season.
Like give him to dudes like Ferron Hunt or whatever. Let him get a little bit of bread. So, in
Yeah,
the beginning of the season, if you need to convert him back to a 2-way or whatever,
exactly.
if that's possible,
We
then
don't want mini LeBron.
Man, I
think
forgot
you
that was a
could.
bit. I forgot that Bledsoe was mini LeBron. That's so funny.
Yep.
I think you could convert back to 2 ways as long as it's less than 4 years of
Okay. So then
because
yeah.
we did with Samanich. We did with
Okay.
Samanich.
So yeah, then Ferron Hunt, give him a regular contract to start the year. If we need that roster spot for someone that becomes available during the season that we feel like fits our roster, then
Royce O'Neal.
what?
I wouldn't put it past Tibbs, bro.
Yo, what? Royce O'Neal, bro, get out of here.
I know he's been.
I don't
plotting
even
on-
think the Nets would give him up. They give a first round pick for him. What would they possibly?
he need a fucking Bullock replacement. I know Tibbs.
Son,
He'd be seeing Reggie Bullock in his dreams. He'd be
I
like,
Wait,
just
how are we getting Royce O'Neal? They just the Nets.
I mean,
Sim-
depends. I mean, it depends on if. I don't mean like not now. I'm talking about like close to trade deadline or whatever. But
Oh,
like,
no. I rebuke that.
if we do like the over the cap sign and trade, then like we'll have the $9.2 million exception from Kemba. So, yeah, I mean, like we could have $9.2 million in trade exception to play with, and then the MLE for next season. So, we shall see.
Fair enough.
I still don't even know who's like unsigned yet. Like, I mean, Sexton is like unsigned, and that's probably the biggest one. Sexton Ayton.
Bridges was.
I mean,
should be in jail.
we got Rick Brunson and D Rose on the team. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna-
we don't need Miles Bridges.
I'm not making that joke. I'm not making that joke. No, in all seriousness, like, please don't start with the Miles Bridges shit. Cause I saw.
No, I've
somebody-
seen some people suggest it. I'm like, yo,
I've
we
seen
don't.
somebody on Knicks Twitter say it. The
we don't-
Zealand facts that are among us, and I need y'all to know that like if y'all actually came for Miles Bridges, I need y'all to seek some help and to like
Yeah,
not
Miles
be a
Bridges
dick.
should be in a cell instead of on a roster right now.
Yeah,
After what he did.
MLE is a maximum life expectancy for him in prison. Like,
Shit, man, it's brutal.
Oh man. Another
that was
one
the
that.
dober. That was the dober.
Oh man. Jordan Bub, another one. How many young cores are better than the Knicks?
I'm not gonna say that out loud. I'm not gonna say that out loud.
No, I'm curious what you think. I bet I think it's like a lot lower than you think. I'm
A
going.
fucking ton. A ton. Like, all right, man. Okay.
Okay,
I-
Raptors.
I'm gonna go through like some young cores in the league, and I want you to tell me straight up if you think the Knicks have a better young core than them.
Okay.
All right.
I think with our young core though, it's like they've been at a disservice for most of their time together too. So we got to put that in perspective.
Tyrese, I'll name the teams that I think are, and then you add on to that. How about we do that?
Okay.
Okay, Raptors.
Agreed.
Thunder.
I mean, depends on how Chet is. If Chet is like the player I think he's going to be, like I would put them like Chet. I think Chet and like Giddy, if they could like hit their ceilings.
You forgot about Shea?
Isn't Shea alone just like?
I don't like counting like dudes on max contracts as young core. That's stupid.
But I mean, like, look at his age though.
I mean, but like at the same time, though, I feel like after 4 years, you're a bet.
So
If
RJ doesn't count as a part of the Knicks young core?
Okay. Think about it like this. I feel like if you're on your second contract already, like it's hard to consider you like part of a young core where you're making like $30 million. You know.
But he's only on his second contract already because he's so good that
good,
they like.
yeah.
I
It's
know,
like-
but like it's also going to be year 6 for him soon.
Like what?
You're sixth.
Yeah, Shea's been in the what? Shea's been in the league.
No,
There's
it's just
no
a year.
way.
Just a year.
Year five.
Yeah.
My bad.
He's only a year.
Tyrese.
Oh, bro, I thought it's been a long. time.
Okay, Cavs.
Yes,
I guess Pistons. You gotta go because of Cade.
Pistons.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pistons. I take Nor. I mean, if we're counting like young cores, like dudes like that, then Zion. That's like New Orleans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess the
Um,
Hornets too, just because of Lamella.
yes, I would say the Timberwolves as well.
It's a
Grizzlies,
Timberwolves. Oh, because of
Timberwolves. Who's left there of
because
the
of
Timberwolves
Edwards.
young core? Is it just like
Edwards,
Edwards and
Yeah.
Vanderbilt? Not Vanderbilt, but
Edward,
McDaniel's.
Edwards, Vanderbilt, fucking.
Vanderbilt's not there no more. They traded him
Oh
to
shit! Oh
Utah.
no, yeah. Edwards,
Mc,
McDaniel's.
McDaniel's is really good. The Magic are definitely better.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Mm,
Grizzlies,
Franz, Paolo, and
Franz Paolo, and fucking
Suggs
Wendell.
Wendell. Yeah, Wendell
and Suggs.
and Bam and Bamba.
Suggs. I got to see more from him before I say like he's like actually a good young
The Bamba
player.
inclusion was good.
I mean, like Bamba's solid.
With Suggs, I was confused as to why Suggs wasn't even playing summer league this year. Like this dude did not have that great of a rookie season to be like, okay, you can just
Yeah,
sit and
but
chill
like,
courtside.
Oh, there's an obvious one. Lakers, Horton Tucker.
yeah, but like, let's see.
Lakers, Clippers.
I mean,
All
you have,
right.
to, you have to you have to put in the Heat. Bam, Hero and Bam.
Okay, no, fuck off. Get out.
Yes, absolutely.
Bam doesn't count by your rules.
Okay,
And Tyler Hero can.
okay,
fuck
but
off.
okay, so you just counted Shea. So if we're counting Shea, then we have to count Bam.
All right.
After what I saw from Bam in the playoffs, are we sure we like even that moved?
I don't know.
What
Yeah,
the-
I mean,
All right, come on.
okay, whatever. Like,
All right, come on.
I ain't moved by Bam.
I don't
after what
think
saw
it's
these
crazy
playoffs.
I don't think it's crazy to say the Knicks young core because of the depth is at least comparable to the Heat.
I mean, I think the depth is nice, but at the same time, like ultimately, you need a North Star, and like North Stars are what runs the league.
So would you put the Kings ahead of them? Like if we're counting Fox, Mitchell.
Fuck Fox,
Oh, okay.
Fuck.
Tyrese hates Fox.
bro. I'm tired of this whole De'Aaron Fox is next. De'Aaron Fox been in the league for like since I was in high school. He ain't did shit. What has De'Aaron Fox done in his career except for put up numbers, cut his hair?
I mean,
Hey, man, you ain't gonna catch
he
me
cut his hair.
defending De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's
Brunson
super
is better.
good.
I literally was like, Brunson is better than De'Aaron Fox, and people thought I was crazy. Oh, would you pay Brunson for 100 or De'Aaron Fox pay the rest of his max contract? Like, Brunson will be so much better than Fox this year, and like, I will stand on that. Like, please, give me a break. I gotta hear fucking De'Aaron Fox. I don't even say his name around me. I'm so pissed.
So Pelicans,
yes.
yeah. Rockets, I guess. Jabari.
I got to see more from them. Their young core is like still.
I like
fresh.
Green. I think Green is really good though. Green is really.
But like
good.
how? Like what is Jalen Green like? Well, like if
I think like towards the end of the season, like the dude was like the way he was.
They're
able
still
to
wet behind the
score,
ears to use that old
Yeah.
people term. So like,
no, I know, but
those,
like what is
those young cores? I gotta wait on them.
if you're gonna project Jalen Green out, what is he as a player?
I mean, I think he's like a solid 25-5-5 dude.
Oh, I didn't realize his passing was that good. I thought he was just kind of like a chucker.
Nah, his passing was good. And it like elite athlete. Like I'm thinking like maybe exactly some like think like P-Lax to me like right now.
This is a good question. How many teams have young cores though?
I mean like young. Again, like,
what do you classify as a young core?
Young core
like
don't
young
exist.
core is like there's like some young cores and like you gotta like there's classifications of young
like
cores
there's young
cores
players
that have been freshly drafted that like you can project what they're gonna be, and there's young cores that are already established and have been in the league 2 to 3 years together already. So like it's kind of like how do you distinguish those young cores as well as
I mean,
where do you place them amongst each other?
The way I put it is basically like in the NBA, you see like there are young players on the team you build around, and then there are young players who are just assets to eventually move and trade. So like take the Knicks top three. So
and that's part of why I said like with the Knicks, it's hard to like really fairly, I think, judge them is because they haven't been given the proper.
I think that's fair. I think that's
yeah.
fair,
They haven't. They've been done a disservice. I mean, shout out to Coach Tibbs. Like
I know, but at the same time, like I think you also have to consider the fact that like I said, the Knicks top three is probably RJ, Mitch, IQ. So like, I mean, like you hold it up against the league, like it's okay, but ultimately, like I think a lot more teams have a lot more like high end franchise changing talent that like the Knicks don't have right now, and I think that's like a fair take to have.
I just think IQ is gonna prove you wrong, man. I think IQ is gonna become that.
If IQ becomes an all-star, then I will literally be streaking in the
IQ
streets of San
Obi
Antonio.
all-star duo.
All right.
This dude hates Obi. This dude
No,
hates Obi.
no,
But
not even-
will dance with his pom poms with Julius Randle
we gotta stop. But okay,
all
Obi
day.
Toppin is a good player, but all-star. If
Hey,
John
man.
Collins not making an all-star,
Hey man,
like
hey
John
man,
Collins,
we've seen some wild all stars in this league, man. Julius Randle was an all star, man. Victor
you are
Oladipo was an
so-
all star.
you're- Okay, but those guys were like literally having all NBA seasons. Relax.
And then disappeared. Like
Okay,
the Avatar when they
all
were
right.
needed the most.
Okay, see, all right.
Yeah.
This is nasty. This is nasty.
I'm telling you, the longer he stays on this team, the more cynical I become about him being here. And the more these jokes continue. So he is only doing himself a disservice.
What if
Leon Rose is only doing this team a disservice.
when he's good next year, I don't want to see you twerking for Julius Randle.
Oh,
okay?
believe me, I will be screaming from the mountaintops to trade him. Still, I'd be like, look, his value is the highest it'll ever be. Trade him out of here.
It would be so Knicks to for Julius Randle to get off to a hot start and them to be like, yeah, like we're gonna hold on to him.
Yep, exactly. And then watch the trade value get stale.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's probably gonna happen. You know, it's gonna happen. Like they want that deal to work. So
I don't know why. Just like
because like ultimately, like a family connections, but like B also
La
like
Familia.
it makes them look better. It's like, hey, we stuck with our guy. He worked out. And again, if he balls out on another team, then like you think Dolan doesn't look at it and go, "What the fuck were you guys doing?" It's Dolan.
It is like a no-win situation because again, like I do believe that he would go to another team and be more willing to take on.
And then that front office is getting fired.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was like, they're not trading him because as soon as they trade him, their timer officially starts. Like if he has another bad season and you move off of him with like one of your protected first, then like you maybe understand it. But like if he comes out next season, you gotta keep him. Because if he goes and does it somewhere else, then what is your argument for like, hey, so we wanted to elevate Obi Toppin to the starting lineup, but Julius Randle's out here like hooping on like a team that's like going second round of playoffs. Like you can't do that if you're Leon Rose.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clip this when the season starts off.
Don't
terribly.
Don't get started with clipping, bro. If we do this with clipping, then it's about to be a surgical summer for me, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I'm gonna get all this shit and put it in a damn blooper reel.
All right.
With Betty Hill music.
All right.
I'm put his highlights in the background.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Wow.
It could be me and your reaction pick. Just eating this summer. What you mean?
All right, we'll see. I think that's all we have for today's show. Thank you for watching if you're still here. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like. Everything Strickland related is in the description. Links to the site, Twitter, Patreon, and merch. We will catch you guys after the next summer league game. I don't even know who we play, but we'll probably smack them.
Yeah, we win the chip this year.
But when
is the next game?
The next game should be in I think they do like every other day, so I think it might be on Sunday.
I can check real quick.
Yep, Sunday against the Bulls.
Yep.
Ooh, the Bulls.
I want that. On
at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
so why? You guess
nah, they give it early, bro. That's 4 p.m.
Yeah. Oh, that's 4 p.m. your time.
Yeah, that's nasty, bro.
And then we play again on Monday at 11.
Monday at 11?
What?
Late night Knicks. Late night Strickland.
For y'all, I gotta work in the morning.
Oh yeah, you gotta work. I don't have work this summer.
Yeah, y'all got that. I'm gonna be sleeping.
We'll probably pick someone else up from the Strickland crew that's up
That'll
at those late night hours. We'll see.
Shwinny Poo out by 9 p.m. So can't get him. He probably get college.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely be at you guys after every summer league game the best we can. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on Sunday. Peace.
Big 30 supporters.